Well, again, we're getting the news that the Member of Parliament for Ibuakon North, J.B. Dankwa Edu, has been shot dead at his residence at Shashi here in Accra. And we're getting also a lot more reports that the police are currently on hand to make sure that they get a yearly snippet of information as they can get.
We'll touch base with our colleague Derek Ekosam, who's got more details, hopefully, for us this morning.
Derek, a very good morning to you. What can you tell us as far as the information you're getting on this very incident?
Well, Roland, just as you said, the Member of Parliament was shot dead early this morning. Currently, the house has been closed. Nobody's allowed to enter, except the police person and also the personnel from the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service. I can see neighbors here who obviously are grief-stricken. A while ago, some family members were moved into a four-wheel drive and then sent out of the home with swollen eyes. You could tell from what they were saying. They were sad. They were in tears. I've seen some relatives around. I've seen the group of the house also around. Some neighbors have also come in here to see what exactly has happened. Conflicting reports, but I was also seeing the commander of the Greater Accra Region Command, Dr. Food and he also here as well with the men. Security is tight as well for that.
If you can make your voice a lot more audible and also a lot more clarity in the way you speak, I think it will also help a lot more of viewers out there. But are you saying that the police just don't know what may have led to this very shooting incident at his home?
Well, the police is yet to speak to us to tell us what exactly happened. The commander of the Greater Accra region is here, but he's yet to address the media to tell us what exactly happened. And we're also not being allowed to speak to any family members. Well, as I said earlier, not too long ago, some family members were taken out of the residence, but they were in tears, they were sad. It's a sad scene here at the Angie Hill Hotel. But the house is not too far away from the hotel.
As far as with some of these incidents, would you say that there were suspicions of some burglary or forceful breaking into the household, as a result of which perhaps things also may have been stolen alongside, just to give you any indication whether it's a robbery or just an attempt on his life, so to speak?
No one can tell for sure what exactly happened because we've not been allowed to go around the house to check whether everything is in order. So not too long from now, in a short while, the police commander will speak to us and then we'll get to know what the details of this particular incident are.
Well, thank you, Derek.
Just before you go, Derek, just hang on. Are you able to describe his home from where you stand?
It's a one-story building with a fenced wall and a fence and a gate as well. There's not too many people in there, I can say.
All right, we'll leave it here, call for you to get a lot more details for us. So that's Derek Ekosam bringing us what he has as of now at the residence of the Member of Parliament for Ibuakon North, who's been still not very clear whether shot or stabbed to death. Those details will come up in the next few minutes, we're hoping.
Okay, now let's get to some other mainstream news. And Ashanti Regional Minister Designate John Alexander Korn is convinced only full implementation of an earlier outstanding court order will bring lasting solution to the Fulani crisis in the region.
A Supreme Court ruling directing the security agencies to drive away the Fulani headsmen has not been enforced effectively. Recently, deaths and pronouncement by some individuals, including the Member of Parliament for Asante Achim Agog, are suspected to have fueled tension in the area, prompting the Regional Security Council to take drastic measures to bring peace to the community.
Responding to the threat posed by the Fulani herdsmen to inhabitants of the area, the regional minister designate Alexander Korn called for united front among all agencies involved in the fight against the Fulani herdsmen. Mr. Korn also promised to be professional in dealing with political opponents in the Ashanti region, regarded as a stronghold of the opposition New Patriotic Party.
there have been various attempts to solve the problem. There's a court order also existing we need to implement. But more importantly, I spoke about the fact that the main players in the field should stay united. I'm very concerned about that one. Parliamentarians, traditional rulers, RegSec, regional minister, we should all stay on the same side of the field and be part of the winning team. So I think at least for a start, I will make sure that we don't break our front. We'll be united for all of us to provide the impetus for it to work. So the first point, how united are the players? And that will be the first approach. The rest will be acting on what the Security Council has done and then adding some little bit of leadership to get it to work.
Meanwhile, the regional minister designate for the Upper East region, Albert Abongo, says Ghana did not lose any money in the botched STS deal. President John Evans Atta Mills, on January 27, 2011, cut the sword for the commencement of the 10 billion XTX project, which at the time was expected to be the biggest investment made by government in the housing sector as a result of what government described as boardroom wrangling between the parties overseeing the project. The deal hit a snag. Albert Abongo, who served as housing minister then, says the country did not lose money in the process, but he is willing to face any action if his role led to loss of money to the state.
I wasted my own time trying to look for STX. Are you therefore suggesting that the time I lost using government time, I'll have to pay for it? No, definitely monies have been lost. And as I said, my own time was money, and I have lost it. I don't know if you are going to ask me to go back and pay. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman just asked him the question, and he's asking me another question. I asked him whether he would ask the people to account for it. That's all I asked him. Yes or no?
Mr. Chairman, I think that it all depends. It all depends. It has to be looked at. It has to be assessed. And if it was due to my carelessness or any other person's carelessness, of course, the person must be surcharged.
Mr. Abongo, however, declined from answering some key questions, blaming it on fatigue.
The Ghana Water Company Limited says demands by organized labor and the general public for a downward review of the current water tariff will affect its operations negatively.
1,000 liters of water currently cost 2 cedis 98 pesos, but the utility company says the current charge is unrealistic and is below the cost of production. Matilda Pomaga has more.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, in December 2015 announced increases in electricity tariffs by 59.2% and water by 67.2% for residential consumers. The new tariffs took effect from December 14, 2015. Addressing journalists in Accra, the Ghana Water Company said the cost of energy, chemicals, as well as other operational costs are negatively affecting service delivery. Hence, a further downward review of the current tariff will bring the company to its knees.
Even with the new tariff, it is not easy for us to go through the process. Okay, now we hear of organized labor and other organizations that want a review downwards of the situation. The water itself, in real terms, if we have to discuss, is cheap. Now, when we mention the percentages, it sounds huge, but if you look at our record now, you realize that it is very, very, very cheap. Now, the cost of 1,000 liters of water now is 2 cedis 98 pesos. 1,000 liters is 220 gallons and 5 drams of water. 2 cedis 98 pesos. Now, if you want it reviewed downwards, look at the cost of energy, cost of chemicals, our operational cost, and all that. How does the Ghana Water Company Limited survive? Now, we serve urban cities, and we are the sole urban water producer. Now, in the event where the Ghana Water Company Limited is unable to work effectively, or in the event where the company collapses, how do we get water? Okay, so let us look at the broader picture and appreciate what we do in sending water to your homes.
Meanwhile, the utility company is also urging consumers residing in compound houses to get their separate meters in order to enjoy the Lifeline tariff, which is specifically targeted at the poor.
The Lifeline tariff is actually supposed to be for the poor, so it's the cheapest amongst the categories. Now, prior to this increase, the lifeline was up to 20,000 liters. And what we realized was that instead of the poor enjoying it, it was rather the elite who were enjoying it. Now, the elite live in huge homes with very few families. Okay, so no matter how they misuse the water, they still fall within the lifeline tariff of 0 to 20. Now, those who live in compound houses, okay, are many, and they use 1 meter. Okay, so then they always go beyond the lifeline tariff, so they do not enjoy the first 20,000 liters. The Ghana Water Company Limited has put in place measures and mechanisms to make it easier for us to have separate meters in compound houses. Then the poor can enjoy their lifeline tariff from 0 to 5,000. Okay, so if you go beyond the 5,000 liters, you go into a different category, which is a bit higher than that of the lifeline tariff.
The Ghana Water Company says in order to achieve 100% water coverage in urban areas, a total of $2 billion will be needed before 2025.
And already, the Ghana Water Company Limited is also assuring the public that its water is completely safe to be used as drinking water domestically.
According to Chief Manager in charge of water quality, Jonas Japulo, once the water goes through the treatment plant, it meets the high standards set by the Ghana Standards Authority and the World Health Organization for safe drinking water. What the Ghana Water cannot assure, though, is guarantee that the safety of sachet water, otherwise perceived as high quality, adding most producers fail to adhere to strict standards in their production.
We don't have any issue with water quality as far as water from our treatment plant is concerned. If you go to PRC and ask them, they can vouch for the water from our treatment plant. You know, we have what we call Ghana Drinking Water Standards, which are put forward by the Ghana Standards Authority, which we produce our water and tailor it to that. These Ghana Drinking Water Standards have been carved from the WHO drinking water guidelines, and usually they are even more stringent than the WHO guidelines. So we have one of the best drinking water quality guidelines in Africa, and we try to meet them. Even our production targets are even more stringent than the drinking water standards, the Ghana standard, so that we can meet consumers' expectations. You can be assured that our water is. As for the sachet water, I have seen sachet water producers using polytanks. They just get somewhere, put the water in the polytanks. The polytanks are open, and they go and fill their tanks and start producing water in the first place. So please, I don't think, I can't vouch for sachet water.
The Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council has described as untenable reasons given by the Ghana Insurance Association for recent increment in premiums.
They say only a reduction will get them to rescind the decision to embark on a nationwide protest.
The Transport Ministry today met the Ghana Commuter Drivers Association, GPRTU, and other stakeholders a week after they threatened to embark on a nationwide strike over hikes in insurance premiums and roadworthy certification. President Mahama directed the Transport Minister to hold the meeting for an amicable solution to the impasse. Chairman of the Ghana Commuter Drivers Association, Charles Danso, tells Joy News the reason advanced by the Insurance Association for the increases is untenable.
In fact, they are saying formally since 2010 they did not increase insurance premium. The man from Insurance Association was saying because of that time political pressure they couldn't increase the premium, and it was a whole lot of we didn't understand him, and we say it's too much. They have to come down. If you want to increase something, it's not by that margin, 500%.
The transport operators say they will go beyond their intended strike if the Ghana Insurance Association fails to reverse the premium hikes. Transport owner Prince Amankwa urged his colleagues to exercise restraint as the negotiations proceed.
We will ask our members to calm down. They should have faith in us. If they fail, we wouldn't tell them our next action because they are opponents. We wouldn't tell them.
The action you intended to take was a strike. Is there anything beyond a strike?
There are so many ways to kill a cat. And so
which way do you intend to kill your cat?
We wouldn't kill the cat, but we will punish the cat.
How do you punish the cat?
Oh, there are so many ways to punish the cat.
From the Transport Ministry here in Accra, I am Kwabna Osuamprechum, reporting for Joy News.
Well, we'll see how that goes as far as that is concerned. But I'm sure you may have driven or walked past this very monument several times.
My school was not too far from it, and Roland is talking about the tower clock at the Accra Central Post Office. It had an unmistakable chime, which meant a lot for residents of Bukom. But for the past 4 years, the clock has stopped ticking, and that chime have fallen silent. Francis Aban visited the community to find out why.
That's the unmistakable chime of the tower clock at the Ghana Post Office in the heart of the Central Business District of Accra.
The tower clock here at the Central Business District next to Ghana Post Service is one that is of immense value to people here in the town. It's in the Central Business District. And for more than a decade, more than a century, in fact, it has been one of the most important, timeless artifacts you find in this town. But today, the clock is not ticking. It is not working. And the reason is simple. It's because this particular edifice has two main challenges: maintenance and the funds needed to do it.
It means a lot. It means a lot because in the morning it will ring. Then workers will be rushing to work. 12 o'clock it will ring. So we'll be hurrying ourselves to school. 4:30 it will ring. Workers will close.
Like the Elizabeth Tower in London, popularly known as Big Ben, for many residents, Accra's tower clock is much more than just a timepiece, as 57-year-old Aquile told me.
What you do your post office here?
Our kids use the clock at the post office to update themselves. They come to you at exactly 12 noon to complain of hunger when they hear the 12 o'clock chimes. Also on New Year's Eve, we don't notice we have entered a new year because the clock no longer chimes at 12. We only realize we have entered the new year when drivers home.
Strange things can happen when the clock chimes at the stroke of midday across Central.
All I know about it is when it's 12 noon, it has this siren that it blows, and people around this area or elsewhere, when you hear it, they make the sign of cross. I don't know what that means.
But for 4 years, the historic artifact has not been working.
Let's go in and find out what exactly the problem is. How does this clock work in the first place?
You know, it has been said that when it is 12 o'clock, this watch, when it is on the dot, 12 o'clock, there's a bell up there which will ring before the alarm, the siren at the gate will also blow. Okay. About, let's say, 4 years ago, I can say it is not working. It has not been easy to get this very machine. Yeah, that's why it has not.
So as it is now, this clock is done, it's spoiled, it cannot work again. It has to be replaced.
It has to be replaced.
So if it's a question of replacing the old clock with the new one, what's the holdup? That's what I asked the head of estates at the Ghana Post, Charles Esiedo.
We're trying to get somebody locally to see how best they can fix this machine for us. The manufacturers no longer manufacture the parts for that clock. The best they can do for us is to import those parts for us.
How much will it cost us to get the new clock?
We tried, we said actually we were going to pay almost about 6,500 USD to get a new clock, but that is without the siren.
But for a company which is struggling to stay relevant, fixing the tower clock is not a priority.
I'm quite curious as to why, in the face of global falling mail volumes, which puts a lot of drain and challenges of the company, we are looking at a siren and a tower clock.
You're saying that for the Ghana Post, in terms of your strategy and corporate planning, yes, this is not a main issue for you?
Yes, it's not a key issue.
It's not clear how long it will take authorities to fix this record. What's clear to most residents here in Accra Central is that a big part of the community history is lost indefinitely. Francis Aban reporting from the Ghana Postal Service at Accra Central for Joy News.
Oh, what nostalgia. I love the story.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece.
Beautiful piece. Beautiful shows, good sun-ups.
Where's Mr. Okovandapo? Is he not the Accra mayor?
Why is he in charge of
the post office is suffering, and the whole community, everybody wants that clock ticking and telling the time.
And also for historical and touristic purposes.
So maybe Mr. Okovandapo can step into that situation. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. After all, he's the mayor of Accra.
Right. Let's see. Yeah. You want to get interactive? Very easy for you to do. So again, we have to bring you this, that J.B. Dankwa, who is a member of parliament for Bwakwa North, has been shot or stabbed today, depends on how we're getting the report from our correspondent. Has been stabbed, we're told. And so J.B. Dankwa Idu, we're told, according to history and also his own profile, is a grandson of Dr. J.B. Dankwa.
Well, more details as the Accra Regional Police Command gets ready to address the media. We've got our colleague right there, and then we will bring you the latest. But let's get on to WhatsApp. Some of the comments we're bringing to you. Kwame in Cape. Kwame says, good morning, Roland. I've held back from contributing to the program, and I want to know why. But he continues to say that, but I could not hold back when I heard the guy from Ghana Water saying that they're producing one of the best quality water in Africa. Please look at sample of water from Cape Coast. Can you say this is of high quality? And that's from Kwame, who is in Cape Coast watching us this morning. Let's get some more messages. We've got tons of messages on the death of the Member of Parliament. And this one says, what a Black Tuesday. An MP gunned down in his protective residence. I am highly devastated and utterly destabilized. My heart is torn asunder. People die like flies. What a crazy Ghana. It's from Kusi in Edreson Besiase sending us that message. I am so sad this morning. We only have one life to live, and we definitely do not know when this life will end. Goodbye, Honorable J.B. Danko-Edu from Genia Marino at Asari Bidiako SHS in Accra, Kerry. This one says, oh, Ghana, shooting again. We turn to America using guns anyhow. From Matthew Mbowene. Matthew sending us that message. I think there's a clarification in there. He was not gunned down, but stabbed. Michael Ameni, our friend in the UK, says, I'm really shocked and saddened by the sad news of the gun down of J.B. Dankwa. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Why should we be so wicked to our fellow human beings? The wicked shall not go unpunished, as the Bible says, because vengeance belongs to God.
Well, so those will be your comments for now. We have a lot more of them. We can read each of them. We'll try as much as possible to reading a lot more to you. We'll have to take a break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the newspapers, and thereafter we'll look at a lot more sports as well. Do stay on.